What you want to do is you're going to paint, all the green. Don't worry so much about...
10 paint-splattered teenagers listen as Lynn Paget gives directions. In the backyard of a quiet Boston neighborhood, 6 boats sit in pieces all around them, ready to be brought back to life. They are Boston's iconic Swan Boats, and Paget's crew is getting them ready for action.
So are the pontoons actually done?
The Swan Boats aren't just a Boston tradition, they're a family tradition. For generations, the Pagets have been giving boat rides in the public garden. It all began with Lynn Paget's great-great-grandfather Robert back in the 1870s.
He started the Swan Boats in 1877, and he actually passed away from tuberculosis in 1878. So 1 year later, he left a wife who had 3 children, was pregnant with a 4th, and her name is Julia Paget. And to me, they exist because of her, because she made a decision as a very young woman who lost her husband suddenly to maintain the business.
Some of the boats date back a long time too, one to the early 1900s. But the Pagets keep them in good shape with the help of a team that drives the boats and maintains them. It takes a lot of work. All 6 boats have nearly 30 non-interchangeable, one-of-a-kind parts. Pontoons, paddle wheels, and of course the swans themselves, perched at the back of each boat. They have to be painted, tested, and put together from scratch every spring. But as Lynn Paget says, there's a pleasant ritual to the process.
I mean, I'm like any typical Bostonian, so when we get to be this time of the year, I'm totally ready for the winter to be over. And it's fun that we're kind of a part of the whole tradition of the city waking up to spring. So the Red Sox start playing, Swan Boats come out, the marathon. I really do enjoy that time of year.
Her workers agree. Louis Beers is 19 years old. He grew up here and now goes to BU. Like a lot of Swan Boat employees, Beers keeps coming back. He's been with the Pagets for 4 years, prepping the boats and driving them. He says it keeps him connected to his hometown.
So I just feel like it's really just an integral part of Boston as far as the attractions here, and it's definitely great to be a face that people kind of associate with the city in a way.
With rotten paddleboards broken off, new ones affixed, and paint coats drying, the day's work is done. It picks up again a few days later when the pontoons are loaded onto the back of an antique truck and taken from that Boston backyard to the public garden. Once there, the driver navigates the garden's walking paths, barely squeaking by trees. A new work crew, older guys who don't have to be in school, hoist the pontoons off the truck in groups.
2, 3. Good. Now give us a bite on it.
They carry them to the water, splashing down one end, then the other. The pontoons sit in the water overnight. The next morning, the crew is back to assemble the boats. Floorboards are screwed into the floating pontoons, rudders attached, and benches drilled down so the passengers will have somewhere to sit. Finally, the big white swan that serves as a cockpit is carried over and fixed to the back. All the pieces are in place now, and a driver plunks down in the swan seat and starts to pedal. Using ropes to steer the rudder, he glides the boat to the other side of the pond, to the Swan Boat dock.
Oh my gosh, my mom grew up in Connecticut, and she has been a Swan Boat lover her entire life.
That's Rachel DiBartolo. She watches from the bridge spanning the public garden pond. She's visiting from Virginia with her husband and kids, taking family selfies with the Swan Boats in the background and sending them back to her mom.
It was like her memory that I think she's kind of shared with all of us and the grandkids. I feel like for me to hear my mom tell, like when she used to come in with her parents or grandparents, and it's just kind of her Boston thing. And my sister got married right here, and we have pictures, something just about the Boston public gardens and the boats.
That's exactly the sentiment that Lynn Paget says she's going for.
This is the endearing aspect of the Swan Boats, because it is exactly the same as it was when they came, regardless of their age. It's the same as it was for their parents and their grandparents and their great-grandparents. You're not providing a boat ride as much as you're providing an experience. And for many people, they are reliving a memory that was really important to them. So when they come down to the dock and everything is the same, that's, I think, what people are looking for. That is part of the mystique, I guess, of the business itself.
Matt Baskin, WGBH, Boston's local NPR.